Hey everyone, welcome back, and this is Wei, and I know it's been a while since my last drawing. So hopefully this new year I can get back into the swing of things and make a little bit more drawing on camera as opposed to just doing it for myself. So let's just draw something, not as serious, maybe just this alien face. A little bit easier, it's not a human face, so we can afford to make a little bit more errors. And hopefully I can get back in the swing of things. So let's just draw this. I'm just going to put this on the side here, and I'm just going to be using a 2B. And let's just get this going. Let's see how this goes. So let's say I want to fit this in here. So maybe just this size. So just roughly like a little egg shape here. And then from here, I'll judge the where the cheekbones are, and let's see, the middle is right here. So if this were top and bottom, the middle would be right around here. So that's gonna be this. Okay, so that's gonna be a brow. So maybe that'll be a good starting point. So that's how you can draw pretty much anything. You can just draw a basic shape first, trying to find a middle if you can, and then we can go from there. Okay, so all right, so let's just keep this going here. So here, huge slant going out. It's almost like a little check mark here. Hope you guys can see this. I know I'm sketching kind of light. I'm just gonna rough in this basic shape first. And then here's the eyes. Nostrils. I come down here. Let's draw in the cheekbone. The cheekbones are pretty cool here. And I'm drawing from what looks like a CGI image or some kind of painting. It looks like a render. A little bit too clean. Okay, and then right here, okay, where this jawline here, you can look at the eye. So right around here. Okay. So same thing here. This thing is symmetrical, so it's not as exciting, I guess, in terms of lighting. I mean, in terms of things to draw, because once you draw one side, then you gotta draw the other side, which is kind of, for me, it gets a little bit boring. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's just go from there. I mean, I don't want to draw in too much detail right now. I just kind of want to rough things in, because what I want to do, as you know from my other drawings, is I always like to shade and try to bring it to life. Let's bring this alien to life. Okay, now here, this part here is pretty hard side lighting here. So we can treat this as like some kind of shape. Just try to match that shape. Okay, so we know it's gonna come down here, 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 here. Okay, so I know it looks a little strange here that we're just drawing this, but I'm just roughing things out. All right, so let's get going here. All right, let's start the eyes. I always like to start the eyes. So right here is very dark. And then on the eyebrow here, just gonna fade outwards. Okay, so dark. I'm trying to loosen up here. Loosen up here. My pencil's a little sharp. Sometimes you want to get like broader strokes, and because the pencil is sharp, it's hard to get that unless you put it to the side, which I don't really like doing. So I'll probably be a little bit looser and freer when my pencil's a little duller. Okay, so this eyeball right here, we know it's going to be a lot darker than the face. So I'm just going to give this one overall shade first. I mean, it's going to be darker than the skin of the, not the face. Slight highlight right here. This part's darker. On the inside here is a really dark. And just keep in mind whenever we have the eyeball, what it's actually doing is just reflecting the environment. So I'm just seeing patches. If I see a little patch right here, I'll just mark that darker. And then right here, it's basically this. And then down here, now this eyelid right here is actually very important to keep it white. So make this part really dark here. Kind of comes around. And it's the same thing as we're drawing the human face too, this lower lid right here. If you're able to keep that white, actually works really well. I mean, it looks a lot better. Okay, so this thing's gonna come around. Yeah, by having this white here, we can feel the lower lid and we can feel the eyeball inside. So that's what is very helpful, I think. You can actually feel the form of the eyeball. So right here, okay, there's a lot of details in here, so I don't want to concentrate on that too much. So here's a little rim lighting right here. I can actually sketch that out right there. And then the rest right here, we know it's going to be a little bit darker, so we can actually just kind of shade this in a little bit first. And then again, more details here. Let's see. I'm thinking, should I concentrate on this or should I just draw the other eye? Because again, it gets a little bit repetitive. I mean, if I were drawing this for myself, just for fun, I guess it wouldn't matter. I'm just thinking in terms of, for you guys, you know, what you would rather see. So in some ways, you know, obviously when you record on camera, I have to change my method a little bit, right? Try to make it as interesting, or actually just more informational, so that I don't just end up repeating things over and over again. Okay, so right here, so here's the highlight right here, and we know all this is going to be slightly darker, and we can actually just hit this like this if we want. Good and bad about doing this. It's nice to apply an overall shade, but then it also kind of gotten rid of some of my guidelines here. So let's just punch this part in here. Again, the line here, just following that. Darker on the ends here. Eyelid. An eyeball. Let's just go for this. I'm feeling a little tentative here. And when I do feel a little bit tighter, not as loose, I like to just go to the dark area so I can, really push down and get rid of the jitters. So I'm just trying to recognize the shape here. There's like two little lighter spots here. There's right here it's a little bit darker, and that's kind of helped to create this roundness on the eyeball. So during my break here from YouTube, I have been drawing and I have been learning quite a lot more stuff. And I don't know if you guys can tell if you look at from my older videos, the way I'm drawing things and the way I'm drawing things now, it is slightly different. I think I have improved finally, and my strokes are a little bit shorter. I'm able to see things a little bit better, so I can actually just concentrate on one area and kind of get the values a little bit more correct the first time around. So that allows me to just do these little strokes and really fill in the space, as opposed to going the broad strokes and then going smaller and smaller and smaller. But I guess I'll talk about that another time. It's a slightly different way of drawing. It's actually kind of really fun because you kind of get rid of the steps, which is what I hate in drawing. I just want to draw. I just want to create things. I don't want to do steps. I know it's kind of strange, but I guess you know me a little bit. I'm very impatient. So whenever somebody tells me these are steps to make, sometimes I get bored really quick. Okay, so like this area right here, just draw that shape first. Now this jawline right here, you notice I'm drawing it pretty dark, and that's because I know this is going to be dark on the neck right here. So it's actually okay to just hit a hard line here, because normally you kind of want to be careful with those hard lines. Okay, so we're back to the mouth. We didn't do much down here. So here's the lip, upper lip right here. I see this part's the darkest right here, so I'm just going to hit that like that. Just kind of block it in. And then lower right here, right on the opening, goes around, darker on the edge. And then overall right here, slightly darker. Because the highlight is right here. Highlight is right here. Middle. Lower lip. Very dark right here. Right here. Middle. And then curve. Right here, darker. Right here, darker. Just a little bit lower. Right here. And then this comes all the way down. I know it's very minor, but it's important because the lighting goes all the way down here like this. The Terminator, where the light falls off. Darker here. So all this needs to be a lot darker. So right here kind of comes down. This. Come back up here, let's see. Okay, so let's see, well, let's add in some nostrils. Here, here. And again, these, this is just an alien, we don't need to draw it exactly. As long as we get the shading and, the forms, that to me is the interesting part about this thing. So if you are drawing this, just try to recognize the forms, and that's what we're doing here. Doesn't matter if it doesn't really look like this alien, in particular, like all the details and proportions and things like that, because all this stuff is made up anyways. So just try to recognize this forms right here, like this big shape right here, right? It goes in here, and there's a little highlight up here. So highlights right here. So this part slightly darker on the bottom. Okay, so now you feel this little ridge right here. So whenever you're drawing, anything, sci-fi-ish, I guess, if you're not trying to match anything, just draw the forms. Don't worry about how it looks. Because once you get the forms, then it looks cool. Then people can see it and they can recognize what it is. Then it'll be cool. All right, let's see right here. Slightly darker. Proportions a little bit off now. Yeah, in the future videos, hopefully I can talk about more all the stuff that I've learned recently. And my strokes are a little bit shorter here. I'm able to see little things a little bit better. And I think that's basically the big improvement I have. So I'm just trying to see things in patches. It's dark. Okay, let's draw in some of the neck, because the lighting right here is really cool. Right here, the light's gonna come all the way down, and all this is gonna be pretty dark. So this part here is slightly darker than this eye. So I'm just gonna give it a slight shade. Okay. Let's see, let's come back up to the face here. Here, this is all white right here, right? So we probably can't see this line here other than if we were to make the background dark. I'm just kind of sketching this line. So if you want to, if I wanted to draw it exactly like this, then I would just shade this in real dark, which might be kind of cool, but then it will take time. Let me do it real quick. Maybe just along the edge. So this will help pop up this whole face right here. So this part right here would be would need to be really dark in order to see this part. Okay, so let's not do too much of that. Let's come back into the head here. It's a little bit shading here. It's not all dark. Right here on the Terminator, we can afford to make it a little bit darker. Let's see. All right, let's see. Let's look back here. So I think the form's okay. And I'm just kind of babbling. I kind of got lost sometimes. Just trying to see what really sticks out. Any kind of major errors. I think it looks okay. I mean, from this point on, I guess if I want to keep going, it will just be a matter of adding more detail. I'd have the overall form in place. Yeah, probably some more detail. And then eventually, if I want to add even more detail, just keep going, then I'll have to sharpen my pencil again. Dark down here. Or I can use a 4B or 6B to add in more, a little bit more depth in the shading. I think the 2B is okay for this. There's a lot of little bounce lights that I didn't really talk about because it's a much smaller detail. So I just kind of glaze over that. It's a little bit too small, so I don't want to talk about it. So I'm turning my pencil to try to get a sharper edge so I can get a little bit more creases in here. So at a certain point, sometimes it gets a little bit too messy or whatever, or I made things too dark. Now just come in here with eraser, you can just kind of dab it and then, start over. I mean, even though this was okay, I probably shouldn't have dabbed that, but whatever. Okay, so a little bit more rim lighting right here, just to exaggerate it. Okay, so I think, yeah, that's about it. I mean, if I were to go in more, it would just be kind of boring and more smaller details. But overall, I think this is okay. I think I got some of the forms in here. Feels like an alien, so I will call that a success. Okay, so yeah, hopefully I can, keep drawing, making more videos. Please let me know what kind of stuff you want me to draw, because I know I've drawn quite a bit of stuff and kind of nice to draw different things. So yeah, just give me some suggestions, or if you're doing for schoolwork, that's always useful, what kind of stuff you actually draw in school. Okay, so that's about it, and I might work on this when the camera's off and maybe push it a little bit, or maybe I'll just leave it like this. All right, so yeah, welcome back, and I'll see you guys next time.